Blessings. Hello, hello, hello. How is everyone doing tonight? Welcome. Welcome everyone. My name is Ramona Riley, aka the Vagina Lady, and owner of Cosmic Woman. It is a Wednesday night. What do we do at Cosmic Woman on a Wednesday? We talk womb wellness. We talk about the healing of the reproductive system, making sure that that reproductive system is at its optimum best. May it be the uterus, the fallopian tubes, the hormones, your eggs, all of that. We talk about all of that, and tonight will be no different. Tonight we're going to be talking about a condition that's actually very dear to my heart in a way, but then it's not dear to my heart because it was a horrible condition to have to deal with. And it's called adenomyosis. And that is a condition that I suffered from 9 years ago that kind of got me into this womb wellness journey. And this month is adenomyosis month. So of course, I have to talk about it, right? It's something I've lived, it's something I've healed, and slowly but surely it's getting much more popular than it ever was. And so we need to talk about it and nip it in the bud. So before we start, as always, I would like to start with prayer. And after that, we are going to get right into it, okay? Dear God, myself and everyone watching this live now or later are so grateful and blessed for the things you have created to allow us to be the best versions of ourselves, health-wise, maybe physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. We ask you now to bring peace to our hearts and to our minds. And we thank you for the healing that has begun for all the women on this earth at this time, wanting to heal, fix, or just have optimum health. We ask you to keep us close, continue to protect us. Amen. Okay, so adenomyosis. What is this condition? What is that, right? It kind of sounds like endometriosis a little bit, but it's still not endo. So adenomyosis is a cousin, maybe more like a sister to endometriosis. And it is literally inside of the uterus. So endometriosis, right, is on the outside of the lining. It is the lining itself of the uterus that is having an issue. When we get into adenomyosis, this is now inside of the uterus. So the lining is coming inside of the uterus. So there are a lot of similarities when it comes to endometriosis and also adenomyosis. Just like endometriosis, it takes a really long time to get diagnosed. By the time I had my son at 27, I realized after I was having a lot of pain, a lot of discomfort. And it seemed at first just like my period pains were getting a little more painful. But as time progressed, I started to have pain in places I've never had pain before. I started to have pain down my leg. I started to have painful sex. I literally had 1 week of normalcy. Every other week for my cycle, I would be in pain. I would be nauseous. I would be tired. I would have all of these different symptoms happening. Sorry, I'm scratching my leg. I got bit by mosquitoes this weekend. I would have all of these different symptoms, these painful symptoms that I never ever had before. I went to the OBGYN. I remember one day just realizing that something wasn't right because, of course, I knew something was wrong. My husband was telling me, no, this is not right. Something is very wrong. And so I ended up going to the OBGYN, and she basically just told me, oh, you're okay. We don't see anything wrong, you know. I mean, but if you're in some pain, we can give you some birth control, because that will kind of lessen the pain and lessen the nausea, but we don't see anything, you know, you're good to go. So I figured that maybe, you know, over time it would get better. But as time went on, it got worse and worse. And 3 years passed and I was still in a lot of pain, or almost 3 years. So when I turned 29, I found out that I was pregnant. And of course, this was not planned. I was not like, yay! And showing the pregnancy test to Roy like, oh my gosh, we're pregnant. That was not the situation, right? But I was pregnant and I was willing to just go with it. 2 months after I found out I was pregnant, I realized that I was having a miscarriage. The only reason why I knew this is just because I knew I was pregnant. I now was bleeding, right? And there were a few clots. There were, you know, things happening. And I knew something was off. I remember going to the OBGYN. So my birthday is October. So it was like the December. I went to the OBGYN and I said to her, listen, I think I had a miscarriage. I just want to make sure everything has come out. I want to make sure everything is good to go so that I can move on with my life. I went and did the transvaginal pelvic ultrasound. That's the first thing that I did. And I lied down on my back. And the technician said to me, oh, did you know you have adenomyosis? And I said, what's that? And she goes, oh, it's okay. The doctor will tell you about it, you know, but you have this. You have that. That's what you have. I can see it all over your uterus. So I was like, okay. So by the time I came out of there and I went into the waiting room again for the OBGYN to come for me, I started going in my phone and it's like, adenomyosis, what is this? And I realized that it was a condition inside of your uterus. So I went down a little further to the symptoms of what you would suffer from if you had this condition. And I swear to you, I had every single symptom except for weight gain. I had everything. I had the nausea, the leg pain. Now this leg pain would not happen during my period. This leg pain would happen during ovulation. And I thought that was just so odd. Like, why am I having ovulation pains when really usually my period that I'm having pain from? So this leg pain, this ovulation pain, this painful before your period, during your period, after your period. I mean, everything was just extremely painful. And when I read the symptoms, it's exactly what it was. So I was a little confused at why they didn't diagnose me with this a long time ago, because I have like every single symptom except for one. Anyway, I guess in itself, nothing happens before its time. And I said to my OBGYN, okay, so I have this condition. Now we know what it is. What do we do about it? How do we fix this? And she looked at me and she said, how many children do you have already? And I said, I have 2 boys. And she said, okay, so you have 2 children. It's time to take out your uterus. Just like that. It's time to take out your uterus. You got to take it out. This disease is not going to get any better. It's only going to become more and more painful. Even if you get pregnant, you will have another miscarriage, just like the one you just had. And so we need to do a hysterectomy. We need to remove. We do not have to do a full hysterectomy. We can do a partial hysterectomy and remove your uterus. I don't even know what to say. I didn't even know how to react. I just cried. I just remember the tears literally running down my eyes. So confused at how I got here. How is this now the only option? I left there, of course, bawling my eyes out on the way home. My husband, of course, is trying to console me. I am bawling. I called my parents because, of course, I've been telling them that I'm feeling all this pain. But I mean, to them, if I'm not telling them I'm pregnant, they're good to go. So they're like, oh, whatever. But they were really definitely tired to hear me complain about the pain that I was going through, and it was almost putting me in a depressive state. So I called them and they agreed with the OBGYN. Listen, you're lucky. You're 29, you have 2 beautiful boys, healthy. And so maybe what you'd have to do is do the hysterectomy. That's probably what your option and only option is. So I scheduled the hysterectomy. And I started to pack my bag for my hysterectomy. And I signed the paperwork for this hysterectomy. And a few days before the hysterectomy, a light bulb literally went off. Something went off in my head saying, Mona, what the F are you doing? How is it that you are now going to take out your uterus? You are going to start early menopause. You're going to be doing this for at least 20 years. This whole early menopause thing, until your body actually catches up. Do you really want to do this? There's got to be another option. I just kept saying to myself, there's got to be another option. There's got to be. So of course, I went back to Google. And I know the women on here are like, yeah, we know Google. We do that all the time. I went back to Google and I just started researching. I just started looking. I looked at things. I found things. I don't know if it was a law of attraction type of thing. I guess so. But I started to find these different options and treatments to heal my body. I found red raspberry, a herb that is so good for your uterus, inside the uterus, outside of the uterus, the entire uterus. And I thought to myself, well, how hasn't anyone ever told me to just drink some red raspberry? I mean, it's abundant, it's everywhere. I mean, why is it that I haven't been told to drink this? And then I realized what ginger does to your uterus and your reproductive system. And then I realized what hibiscus, or what in Jamaica we call sorrel, does to your uterus and your blood flow and your circulation. And turmeric. And I started to drink these things every single day, twice a day, 3 times a day, 20 times a day. Now, anybody that knows me, I've always been a tea person, always, from when I was younger. So that was never something hard for me to do, but I was always drinking more like a black tea or maybe a peppermint tea. But now I start to incorporate this ginger and this sorrel or hibiscus, whichever one you want to call it, and red raspberry and turmeric, and I would mix it and I would drink it every single day. Now the sorrel I actually made with ginger and made it like how you would make it for Christmas time, but I actually used agave in it. I didn't use white sugar, I didn't use brown sugar, I used agave. And then in more of my research, I realized that there is a thing called sound therapy. And there is a thing called color therapy. Well, damn it. Couldn't someone have told me about this before? I would have been healing my entire body, right? So the sound therapy was literally sounds and patterns of different sounds that healed my reproductive system, healed my uterus. I also used ones for digestive because, as we know, the reproductive system, the digestive system, they work together. So we have to make sure that they're both strong so they can facilitate each other. So with working on my digestive system using sound therapy and color therapy, working on my my reproductive system and digestive system using herbs, and changing my diet. Guys, I can't stress this enough. Changing your diet, removing the beef, removing the pork, removing the chicken, removing the soy, removing the tofu, removing these things that are not good for us. The liver and the kidney and the tripe and all these different things. I removed these things. And in 3 months, I no longer had adenomyosis. It's a miracle. I don't think I've even had a client that has suffered from adenomyosis and it go away in 3 months. I don't even understand what really happened. And I've come to the realization now that it was bigger than me. The disease wasn't about me. The condition, it wasn't about me. The condition had to come for me to awaken, for me to get to a certain place, for then what to happen? For me to start Cosmic Woman, for me to help other women, for me to support other women and guide other women and encourage other women and give them hope. Because we can't do anything with a little bit of hope, right? You fail without the hope. You need the hope. You need the faith. And so 3 months later, I got pregnant. I did an ultrasound. They didn't know where the adenomyosis went. They did another ultrasound a week later. They still couldn't see it. They were like, we don't know what happened, but we don't see it. So it looks like your baby is going to be okay. And I knew my baby was going to be okay. I knew she would be fine. I knew she was going to be a girl and I knew she would be fine. And she was. And the birth was amazing. The birth was beautiful. I went through this holistic world once I found out that I had this condition, all the way through my pregnancy and after my pregnancy into postpartum. I did this holistic thing. I went into this holistic world and I benefited so much from it. So when I come to you, ladies and gentlemen, and I say, hey, don't eat this or try and stay away from that because that is causing that. I'm not saying it because I just want to be mean and I don't want you to eat it. It's because I used to eat it too. And I ended up in some horrible, horrible way. And so I knew when I pulled this out of my diet, or maybe I didn't know at the time, but after I pulled it out of my diet, I could say, oh, there it is. That was a huge thing. This meat, this heavy, toxic, estrogen-driven meat is killing me. It's going to make me have to remove my womb, my entire uterus at 29. So when it comes to any reproductive condition, no matter what the name is, our diet is always going to be important, right? Our vitamins and minerals and what we're taking is going to be important. How we're balancing the hormones are going to be important, okay? The foods we're putting in our body is going to be important. And detoxing is also going to be important. We have to detox the body. We have to clean the blood. We have to make sure that the liver is cleansed and strengthened. We have to make sure that the gut in itself is healthy. We want to remove the negative bacteria and only leave the good bacteria in the body. These things are extremely important in healing not just adenomyosis, but also endometriosis, pelvic inflammatory disease, cysts, PCOS, fibroids. The list could go on and on. Okay, 65% of it is your diet. Change your diet. You can't afford a consultation with me? That's fine. Change your diet. Start there. Start there. That's a great place to start. Now, another thing that you can do are definitely some physical treatments, okay? And the physical treatments are going to help, of course, with healing the body. And when we talk about physical treatments, right, we get into things like abdomen massage and self-massage, right? So all of us love a good massage. I actually just got one a while ago. I got one and then my husband got one and it was great, right? He just knocked out. But in doing massages, we all love them, but we always expect someone else to do it for us. I really encourage women who suffer from painful periods, who suffer from reproductive conditions, spend some time and love on your abdomen. Work from your belly button all the way down to the mound of your vagina, working in a circular motion, gentle. It's not about pressing down. This is not deep tissue. This is literally just using the tip, your fingertips, and just massaging with some really good healthy oil, like a virgin coconut oil, an olive oil, a grapeseed oil, a almond oil, a hemp seed oil, a kind of oil that's that's healthy and good for the skin. We find also that coconut oil is really great for this process as well, because it's a great detoxer for the belly button. So if you took some coconut oil and just poured it in your belly button and lied on your back and went to sleep, your belly button absorbs the coconut oil, and then you find that it creates a detoxing process. And you feel so much better the next morning. And if you do this every day for 30 days, it's like you feel renewed and refreshed. It's the most amazing thing. I love it. I do it every so often. Sometimes I do it on the children, but I definitely try to do it more often on myself. Just because, of course, my digestive system is much older than theirs. And I take a lot more chances and drink the liquor every so often and that kind of thing. So, that makes a difference as well. So doing a self-massage would be really great. We're talking about helping with circulation, okay? We're talking about removing any blockages. And when we do it, we want to also concentrate on the pelvic region. So it's not just the ab part, but go around the side of the hips, right? Go a little bit to the sides of the back, or your love handles, or that area if you can. Then maybe take it down to a little bit past your hip, going into your thigh, okay? A lot of women, when they have their periods, they have this little thigh thing going on, right? Their thigh hurts, it feels uncomfortable, it feels crampy. It's the circulation. Your body needs to release. There's too much blockages. So self-massage, really, really great. I really, really, really can't tell you enough to do that. Another thing is a castor oil treatment. And anyone that has been here before, may it be on Instagram, on Facebook, anywhere else, you will always hear me say castor oil treatments, okay? If you have any reproductive issue, castor oil treatment is your friend. If you're trying to get pregnant, castor oil treatment is your friend. If it is that you have digestive issues, castor oil is your friend. You can castor oil your child, you can castor oil yourself, you can castor oil your husband, you can castor oil your mother who is 90 years old, okay? This literally detoxes the reproductive system, the digestive system, the lymphatic system. It flushes the lymphatic system. It also creates healthy circulation, okay? Just those things alone, by all you're doing is rubbing some cold pressed organic castor oil on your abdomen, using a special cloth to put over it, putting a heating pad on that, and lying down on your back for an hour. That's all you got to do. And we're doing all of this, that detoxing, this detoxing, that flushing, that promoting this. I mean, there is no reason that every single person should not be doing a castor oil treatment. I try and do castor oil treatments about 2 to 3 times a week, me personally. I tell my clients who have fibroids or cysts or endometriosis or Pcos or any other kind of reproductive condition to do it 2 to 4 times a week, okay? So different strokes for different folks in terms of how often you would have to do it. If you have no condition and you just want to be healthy and stay healthy, you can do it once a week. My clients that are going through menopause and they're going through the hot flashes and they're going through, the discomfort, castor oil treatment's great. It really helps to balance the hormones. You find that the hormones become much more balanced when we remove all the freaking toxicity that's in our bodies, right? So removing the toxicity is going to be really, really, really important to help to balance the hormones. And usually the reason why our hormones are not balanced is because we have too many toxins in our body. Our body has too much waste, okay? And the toxins can be a lot of things. It doesn't just have to be what we've eaten. It can be environmental as well, okay? So just removing this. Another treatment that's great is a vaginal steam treatment. And that's something I've spoken about many times. The vaginal steam treatment, we at Cosmic Woman call it a facial, which is a facial for your vagina. And it really helps with the uterus, okay? It really helps to soften scar tissue. Of course, the scar tissue can develop because, like, for example, in adenomyosis, which is what I had, the lining grows inside. So you find that it's almost like scar tissue inside of the uterus. And so doing this steam really helps to soften a lot of the scar tissue, right? The other thing I really recommend is vitamin D3. Vitamin D3 is good for anything that comes from a hormonal standpoint, okay? So I would suggest that maybe 2 capsules a day, maybe 5,000 UIs, I would say, at least, to help that. Now, before we continue and before I get into any of these questions that are coming up, especially on Instagram, I definitely want to get someone else's opinion when it comes to dealing with someone who suffers from adenomyosis or any other reproductive condition. I find that a lot of times we as women who have a significant other really go through it with us. They might not feel the pain, but they feel the pain because we feel the pain, and they see how much you have shifted, how much you change, how much you allow life to go by and not live it. Because you can't, because you're in so much pain, because you are so stressed out. And it affects them. It affects the whole family. It's like, alcohol abuse or drug abuse. It affects everyone close. And if you suffer from a reproductive issue, it definitely does that. And there's so much stigma with having a reproductive issue, right? There's so much, like, you're a woman, the one thing you should be able to do is get pregnant. Or, why are you not bleeding, or why do you bleed so much? Or there's just so much negativity that comes with that. So you have your own ego and your own issues dealing with, and then everybody else on the outside also has their opinion. So having a strong support system is really important. And I definitely would say that I feel like I had a strong support system. During the whole process, I did feel alone, right? Because it's me alone. But when I look back at it, I definitely was not alone. My husband supported me. He would get frustrated, of course, ever so often, because it's a frustrating thing. But it was never like give up. It was never I don't care. And I'm really grateful for that. And so I am going to have him come on. Just ask him a few little questions really quickly, because I'm sure he's like, what the hell are you bringing me on here for? Come around here. All right, guys.
This was a bit impromptu. I didn't know I was going to be on okay. Live.
So everybody, this is Roy. Roy's my husband, and he definitely has been there. He definitely has been there for me during this process. And I just wanted for him to share his opinion in terms of handling or dealing with or supporting a woman that suffers from reproductive issues. Like, if you could speak to the men out there, if you could talk to your fellow brothers, what would you say to them when it comes to how to handle it? From every angle.
Well, definitely it's a very unselfish thing you have to get into, especially seeing someone you love. It's like having children or a mother. So just like your spouse or your loved one, you kind of feel the pain they go through. And it can make for a bad day, There are things you want to do and activities and have fun, have a good time. And it's just when somebody's uncomfortable, not doing well, they're not functioning around the house, they're laid up. You have to try to figure out what to do. You don't even know what to do at times. And you kind of have to try to figure that out too, so you can get them in at a place of ease, pretty much. So yeah, you want to get in there. So as soon as you can help her get to where she can be, the better it's going to be for you and everybody else. So put in that time, put in that effort. It pays off in the end. And I think that's the best thing you can do, is just take the time to understand what's going on so you guys can communicate, talk about it, share what she's going through, what she's feeling, and so you can actually do your own research and know what it's like, and then contribute in any way you can. having to get her water, walk, rub her leg, all these things come into play at times. So you have to definitely, because I can remember times when it's just seeing her roll around with pain, because there's a shooting pain when it comes to adenomyosis, and you can physically see when she was in pain when those flare-ups would happen, and it was just not a nice thing. Even at night, morning, it'll just come in and just throw off the whole day and things you want to do.
The whole week. The whole week, it's horrible. Horrible.
Yeah, I mean, it's just relentless pain that just, you don't know what to do about it. Which
It's both. So it's funny. I have every so often, I would say maybe like once a week, we have a gentleman that will contact Cosmic Woman, and he'll send a message saying, my girlfriend, she's in so much pain during her period, or we've been trying forever to get pregnant, or whatever it is. And every single time when a male messages me, I just think about you. I literally think about you, because I feel like if you bucked up on this information, hey, there's this lady over here that can help you heal your reproductive system using natural methods, I know you would have called. I know you'd have texted. I know you'd have emailed to be like, listen, my wife is suffering from this.
Yeah, man.
Because look at the time when you bought me that book. Right. Queen of Four, right? So there's this lady, Queen of Four, who is like amazing. Like, I just want to be like her, right? Yeah, man. She's just crazy. Fabulous woman.
She did a good job in terms of sticking to the routine, because you really have to put in the work and put in the effort. And I think that's where there's no miracle, nothing come out of the sky for this type of thing. You really have to be disciplined. Take time, put out some time to take care of yourself, because that's what it's really all about, and sticking to the game plan.
Self-love, self-care.
Yes, definitely self-love, self-care is a must. And you may not feel like taking that extra tea or bother with that tea, but just stick with it. Be patient, men, be patient. Definitely, you want to get yours in, I'm sure, but there's nothing you can do until she's at a place of peace and at ease, without any dis-ease, and that's important.
And we're trying to remove that dis-ease for sure.
Exactly.
100%.
Exactly.
Is there anything else that you would say to the gentlemen out there when it comes to just reproductive health in general? When it comes to the women themselves, maybe fertility, maybe hormonal imbalance, maybe lack of sex, libido being low. As a man, is there anything that any advice that you would give them?
Well, the best thing you could do is actually get in on a game plan and get yourself together. Once you can start getting yourself together, it's a good support system. Even if it's as small as getting rid of the garbage in the house, the food that you don't want to eat. You can start there, because you guys can 1-2 that in terms of getting the diet right. So this is a
journey together.
Yeah, that's a very good place to start. Both of you are consciously aware of that, and
you helped me with that too.
Even when the other one wants to cheat, and I want to eat chocolate, or I want to eat some snacks, or Frito-Lays, or whatever you want to go, eat. There's somebody to check you. So you both need to. We need to check each other, because I just like to not
eat whatever
and just be sporadic. I'm good for that. She helps keep me in track with that, and vice versa. So when the other one's weak and giving in, the other one's there to say, "Hey, no, let's go, let's get this," and it's just like a good workout partner. So you need to kind of tag team and do that together.
Having a partner to be able to do this actually makes it better. You don't feel so alone, and it doesn't feel so impossible. You feel as if, okay, we can do this. And as Roy said, one day you might be like, yo, I just want to eat that pizza, yo. Mm-hmm. And the other will be like, babe, we're not going to eat the pizza, but let's go get a vegan pizza. Or let me make you a vegetarian pizza that I'm still waiting on, sir. Yeah. Do not make it before you leave.
Still making my way around the kitchen. So,
but it's really, thank you. It's really important for us to make sure that it's a team effort if it is that you have a significant other. If it is that you don't have a significant other, then please understand that you have friends, you have family members that you can talk to. And again, when the day gets rough, and sometimes we have these rough days, send Cosmic Woman a message. Send us a message. Oh, I'm so pissed about my periods being the way they are, or I've tried everything, or sometimes we just need a release. When we keep all of these things inside, bottled up inside of us, it just festers. It just makes our condition worse, right? And as we know, a lot of these diseases come from or start from an emotional place. So if we are being emotional or feeling emotional about something and not releasing that, it is going to show up in a physical way. And we don't want that. We don't need that. That is definitely a problem that we now have to be focusing on shrinking this fibroid or shrinking this cancerous cell or whatever, because this tumor has arisen. Okay? So make sure that you guys understand that don't keep it to yourself. Express yourself. If you have no one to express, journal, write. It's amazing how journaling and writing can help. I've been doing that for the past year and it's done so much for me. And I've not been journaling anything about reproductive system. It's been about so many other things, about money, about the new moon, the full moon, my healing, my childhood traumas, like those types of things. And that in itself has helped so much.
Don't underestimate.
Don't underestimate the power of writing.
Of writing that stuff down.
Yeah, and releasing. Paper. And depending on what it is that you want to do, you can write it and you can burn it or you can bury it, or it doesn't necessarily have to be something where it's like a literal journal and you can go back and read, because some people don't want to have to read it back. They just want to release it. And that's okay too. Whatever works. Everybody is different.
You look so pretty on the camera.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, man, you do.
Thank you.
You look real nice.
Thank you.
I like how you look, man.
Thank you. He's trying to get brownie points, guys. Oh God. All right. So, just coming down off of adenomyosis. This condition, it affects the inside of the uterus, the leg pain, the ovulation pain, the period pain, the before the period pain, the after the period pain. It is just pure almighty pain. Okay? You want to take all your clothes off and lie on the cold tile. And I remember where I was, the house I was living in going through this, there was no cold tile. Like, heat does not work anymore. It's like F the heat. And that's when you know that your condition is really, really getting worse, because heat is supposed to really release some of the pain and allow you to feel better. But if the heat is not feeling better, and it feels like the heat is even making it more inflamed, then we know that there's definitely a huge problem. You want cold. You want to fill up your tub with ice and water and just sit down in there for hours. Okay, this is what some women do just to get some relief. So please, don't sit and suffer. Don't suffer in silence. I know adenomyosis is not something that is extremely common, but a lot of women are starting to realize that they have this. And luckily for me, I just had adenomyosis and that was it. I am meeting women now that have adenomyosis and endometriosis combined, and cysts or fibroids or all four. Can you imagine? I can't imagine that. Like, the andin was already so bad already. Then the endo, inside the uterus is a hot mess. Outside the uterus is a hot mess. You have a fibroid somewhere in your uterus or somewhere outside of the uterus. You have a cyst over your ovary. And
it's hard to get answers to deal with all of that too. And that's the thing. And how you tackle it is very, very, one of them alone is very overwhelming. Just even the excruciating pain that you can go through. And then to have to tackle 4 things at one time. It's very challenging, but I mean, you have she's a real deal. Like she's
so sweet.
She's a real testimony to what it takes. So if you're even like not encouraged to continue, like you have a good mentorship in terms of her experience and what she's done, and that's real. When somebody can speak from experience and having to deal with a family, work, children, and all that stuff that go along with it all. you have to kind of make time for yourself, and definitely make time to heal yourself and take care of yourself. So she's a very good coach when it comes down to that, and talking from experience is very important, where someone can relate to what you're actually going through as well.
And ladies, please, if you do have a significant other, take some time and thank them. Even if they don't do a lot, take time and thank them. I wish I did that during the phase. I didn't. I think I was a little too caught up in myself and my... Shut up.
It's all good, I mean...
I was caught up in my own self and my own feelings and my own traumas going through this. And I didn't thank him. Thank you.
No problem.
So much.
I know you're grateful.
I'm very grateful. And I would say also that...
I mean, look what's come out of it. I mean...
And that's what I was about to say. I don't think that even Cosmic Woman would have developed or be anything or even be a thought if it wasn't for you. I think that... I remember the day when Roy came to me and he said, so why don't go back to school and go do this, go do something like this? And I was like, do what? And he was like, I mean, help the ladies like how you help yourself. And I thought he was insane. I was like, what do you mean? I go in the classroom and teach like 3 to 5 year olds. Like, what do you mean? That's what I do. And
she had a bigger call, and there was more she had to unravel in herself. So it's just kind of like scratching, give her a little nudge so she can actually
a lot of nudge. But yeah, thank you for the nudge.
Definitely.
Thanks for the nudge.
No problem, man.
And the support.
That's what I'm here for. I mean, as long as she can continue to get into herself, grow as a woman, grow as a goddess, tap into herself. I mean, that's what it's all about. It makes it a better situation for everybody, and that's what men,
That's what they're supposed to do.
They like to explore women. I mean,
yeah,
you can't explore if they stop growing, right? They gotta tap in and unearth all of that within them and see how they blossom, because there's a lot of depth to women.
Yes, I agree 100%.
All kind of aspects. So and exploring that. It's a great journey.
Literally, the main gist of all of this is, are you suffering with painful periods? Look about that. It's not normal. It's not healthy. It's not good. It's a sign. It's a sign letting you know that something is off. Something is wrong. I haven't looked yet. Something is wrong. Something is not right. Okay? Also, if you realize or you've been diagnosed with a reproductive condition, please make sure that you are doing what you need to. Change your diet. Diet is huge. It doesn't even have to be reproductive. If you find out you have high blood pressure, you need to change your diet. If you find out you have PCOS, you need to change your diet. Okay, just like how when I found out I had adenomyosis, I had to change my diet. It's the same thing. It just makes the journey easier. It makes the healing process quicker. It makes everything less traumatic. The condition in itself is traumatic enough. Let's not add more trauma to the situation. And also, have complete gratitude for your significant other if he's there, supporting, cheering you on, bringing you tea, bringing you some Advil to take, rubbing your back, rubbing your feet. There are so many men out there that don't have a clue in where to start when it comes to that. When you have a gentleman that is going out of his way for that, you gotta be grateful. Even if you don't tell him every day, when you do your prayers, you pray and you thank the Lord for him. Thank him. Thank the Lord that he is so sensitive enough, loving enough, caring enough to be able to extend an extra hand and not blame you and judge you for the things that you are going through. Because we feel judged and stuff by ourselves every day. So to have a partner that is not doing that, consider yourself extremely, extremely lucky. So we're just going to go and see if there are any questions. here. I think everybody was just saying hi. Hi, Kimmy. Oops. Just checking. What month is PCOS? I believe it was January. I believe so, but I could be very wrong. You can Google it. But don't worry, we got some stuff for PCOS coming up. Don't you worry. We talk a lot about PCOS though. You can definitely check out our IG page. You'll see a lot. You can check out our YouTube channel as well. We have a lot on there when it comes to PCOS. Yes, unfortunately, the doctors do enjoy prescribing birth control. And the situation is that it regulates the period and it controls the period and what it does and how it does it. So there is some relief at some point, but we're not getting to the root of the problem. And that is really the issue. When we get to the root of the problem, then we don't have to worry about trying to control the disease or control the condition, because we're getting to the root. We're fixing the root. And if the root is healthy, everything else is going to be healthy. Everything else is going to be good. And so that's what we want to do. Hi, Peter Gay.
Says that polycystic ovarian syndrome month is September.
Oh, it's September. Polycystic ovarian month is September, guys.
Awareness month.
All right, let's see. I'm not seeing any questions. You guys have no questions tonight. I get leg pain in my upper thigh. Yes. So the leg pain in your upper thigh is a circulatory issue, okay? So when we do this massage and we're massaging our abdomen from our belly button down to the mound of your vagina. Everybody know where the mound of your vagina is? It's right where the crease starts, right on the top, okay? Massaging there, really, really great from the belly button down there. It helps a lot to alleviate and to create healthier circulation, okay? So when we're moving from there down into our hip, we can pass the hip and go down into the thigh as well. I suggest using oil, as I said, a healthy, natural type of oil, because when we do so, you find that it's easier to move and manipulate your fingers a little bit more. If you want, you can also allow your partner to do this for you, and this can be a foreplay kind of thing, where he would massage your abdomen a little bit, yes, and work around the hips. But then when it gets a little bit more to the mound of the vagina and the inner thigh, he can really massage there and kiss on that area, lick on that area, massage, kiss on that area, lick on that area, do all of that.
You said lick twice.
Yeah, what's wrong with licking?
Okay, I was wondering.
Isn't licking good?
Say it one more time.
Licking on the vagina. Right? Or around the vagina, or licking the mound of the vagina and slowly just kissing it, and just gently. It will alleviate a lot of tension in the pelvis, even if it is that you guys aren't going to go and have sex right now. It just makes the area a lot lighter. Okay, it takes the tension and the stress away, and she's gonna wake up with a better feeling pelvis and groin area because of that short 5-minute, 10-minute massage. Okay, something you can definitely look into. Let me see what else we have going on here. And then, guys, if you are having painful sex during these, before the period, after the period, anything like that, you can definitely do a vaginal steam as well. The vaginal steam really helps to soften and relax everything. I find that my clients that suffer from adenomyosis, endometriosis, pelvic inflammatory, all of these types of issues that come with painful sex, the vaginal steam is everything. The steam before they have sex, they have orgasms, they climb the Himalayas, they're like, oh, and then they're good to go, right? So we definitely want to make sure that, we all need to have sex. It's important. Health-wise, all of that is important. But if it's painful, I can understand who wants to have painful sex. No one, right? So that is also something that you can look into. My last period, I got so much clots I've never seen before. Okay, so in terms of the clots, guys, remember when women are suffering from clots, it is the lining of the uterus that is shedding. The lining becomes too thin. If you're trying to get pregnant, implantation cannot happen. It does not happen naturally. It doesn't happen, right? It tries to implant, it's too thin, and you end up getting a period you didn't even realize that you were pregnant for the most part, okay? We also don't want the lining too thick, because if the lining is too thick, then you're not going to get a period, and it's like telling your body that you're pregnant, but you're not pregnant. So not too thick, not too thin, just right. But if you're suffering from clots, that is also another symptom. It's another sign that something is not right. When we have our periods, they should be easy. They should be breezy, right? No headache, no clots, no bad smell, no headache, no back pain, no abdominal pain. We should not have any of these things happening. So if you're suffering from clots, we have to build back the uterine lining. And in building back the uterine lining, red raspberry is going to be really great for that. If you want to do the womb tea, Cosmic Woman's womb tea, it has red raspberry in it and a lot other goodies in there that allow your reproductive system on a whole, your digestive system on a whole, and definitely your uterus inside and outside be the best version of itself. Okay? No meat at all. Well, I mean, you gotta decide where you're at. Okay, for me, I was like no meat at all, because I wasn't going to have a hysterectomy. I was just not going to do that. I just couldn't see myself doing that. I have some clients that definitely don't want to come off of all meat, right? So they still will do like goat here and there, or they'll do fish here and there, or they'll do some kind of seafood here and there. And that's okay. That's okay. We want to make sure that we're staying away from the things that have estrogen in them and fake hormones in them, or the ones that are dirty parts of the animal, like the liver and the kidney and the tripe and them kind of things there, right? So if you can remove that from your diet, then you're going to find that your periods are going to get better. Your condition, if you have been diagnosed with one, will also get better. So your diet, huge. Dairy, stay away as well. Soy, stay away from it. Tofu, stay away from it. Sugar, brown, white, stay away from it.
The best thing to do is just to trick yourself. You have to not put the stuff in the house.
Yeah.
Because once it's in the house, you're going to eat it.
You're going to eat it.
So just start clearing away all that stuff, and then start slowly replacing every single thing you like to snack, eat on. Put it in there, so you have no choice but to grab that and go for it. And you start to segue into getting on a healthier way in terms of having those stuff, the right stuff you need around you. And that's the best thing to do, is not have it around you, because you're going to eat it. You're going to eat that Snickers bar. You're going to eat it. It's going to go.
It's true.
It's going to go. Just don't have it around you, so you're not even tempted.
What we also need to talk about that people don't usually talk about a lot are the plastics that we're using in our household, right? Because that in itself has a lot of BPA and a lot of phthalates, which again is going to come down to this estrogen thing again and making your estrogen levels high. So if you're using plastic containers to store your food, or to warm up your food, or to eat from, or anything like that, I really suggest that you look into some BPA-free, phthalate-free plastic containers with the lids, or do glass, okay? If you're in Jamaica, I found some at Azan's. I could not believe it. And they were not expensive at all. If you are in the States, go to TJ Maxx, go to Ross. They're very inexpensive there. And start changing out your things. Look at the plastic that's in your house. If you have a dishwasher in your house, don't use the dishwasher all the time. Don't store too many of your things in a dishwasher all the time, because guess what? That's phthalates again and BPA again. So we want to look at things from all different angles. Your spatula, is your spatula plastic? Okay, just stop. Look in your cupboards, look in your drawers. If you have questions, if you're not too sure, send us a DM, send us a WhatsApp, and we can definitely give you some advice to where you can get what you need, or how to use what you have, or whatever the case is. All right? Hey, Q healing you up. Ramona, consulted with you about 1 month ago and constructed a treatment plan for me, but I feel a lot of pain and went back to the doctor and want to speak with you about the results before. Okay, got it. So just send me a message on WhatsApp. You have my WhatsApp number. Send me a message and then we can figure out what is going on.
Got some more there.
I started a treatment plan you constructed for me. Please, 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 can I call you tomorrow? Yes, you can call me tomorrow. For sure. I suggest calling me in the evening though. How do you deal with a spouse which deals with mood swings, which goes through these issues? Okay, so it's gonna be
The spouse going through mood swings? Their own mood swings? They're going through their own mood swings?
Is this the mood swings because of their reproductive things? Or is this the spouse of the person with the reproductive thing? I think he means.
How do I deal with a spouse that deals with mood swings, just goes through these issues? That if she's going through those, she's gonna go through those mood swings. I mean,
it's hormonal.
It's gonna come with the territory. Don't take it personal. That's the best thing you do. Do not take any of that personal. She may snap at you, or you need to be doing this. You're not paying attention. I've been calling you. All this stuff comes up, and you're right there doing it. You just stop 1 minute to just go grab some water, and you just gotta just don't take the stuff personal at all when you're trying to help somebody and treat anybody rather, because all they're concerned about is their pain, how they're feeling, and wanting to feel better, and want to be pampered and catered to, and they want some food, eat up and down. You have to get them something to eat. You have to go do this, get some water. Probably even help them walk to the bathroom. All kinds of stuff is gonna come, and you're gonna feel like you're totally, and then they're not gonna say, "Oh, thank you," right away. You're just not gonna feel all of that, because take yourself out of it. You know, nobody's happy in the best camper when they're not feeling well. It's just how that goes. So that's how you gotta look at it. Just those mood swings. Nothing lasts forever. It's not gonna be forever, and so just handle it for during that time. Find some solace when they're asleep. Yay!
Go to bed. You know what you can do too? If she's suffering from mood swings, I really suggest our hormonal tea. Because when you suffer from mood swings, or when you're like kind of miserable, or when you go through depression, or you go through anxiety, or any of these types of things, you find that it is really deficiencies in your body while you're going through this, right? While you're reacting like this. So just making sure that you have enough B12, B6, making sure that your iron level is high. And guys, listen, most times as Black people, our iron levels are not as high as they should be, okay? So if you go to the doctor and the doctor says, hey, hi, your iron level is 11. It's not high enough, okay? It's not the lowest, but it's not the highest. You're a Black person. You need more iron in your body, okay? You need to be up at like 14 and 15. That's where you need to be, okay? So those deficiencies are going to cause the mood swings and the depression and the stress and the anxiety and all of those things. And there's so many things that you can do for that, okay? You can do the sound therapy or the color therapy, like I was talking about earlier. You can also try our hormonal tea. I find that the hormonal tea really helps a lot with that, because we have a lot of clients that suffer from depression and low mood and these types of things, because of course they feel like shit every single day, right? And I find that it really helps. Even this low libido, the hormonal tea as well helps with the low libido. It makes them feel better. It makes them produce more wetness. Makes them a little bit more in the mood. And then you find that, you know, sex is more realistic, and it can actually happen more often than once every 4 months, right? Okay, let's see what else is here.
Tashana Level, just hello.
Hi, Tashani. Tashani, yeah man, she was in my class at Hillel.
Got you.
All right, so they're counting us down, guys. We have 20 seconds. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you have any other questions, send it to us on DM or send us a WhatsApp message. If you're not following the Vagina Lady, please do so. If you're not following